Hello, cheers, and welcome to Tipsy Book Talks. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Ran.
And today we are going to be discussing A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare.
And to go with that, we're also drinking a Midsummer Night's Bean. But as you can see, it's very clear because we did not want to drink bourbon with it. So we replaced it with tequila because that's just our favorite alcohol. But yes, and that'll be as well in
So good.
Tequila Mockingbird. So
yeah, we decided to do tequila also mainly because we're drinking tequila in all of our other videos. So I mixed this once. If you guys do not know, we have technically already filmed A Midsummer Night's Dream, but the footage was really messed up. But that night I had done tequila and then I did bourbon and it was very bad call.
yeah. So this time we just went ahead and made it with tequila. It's pretty good though.
It's actually really good.
It's like the slim version of a margarita or just tequila on ice.
But let's cheers.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
You were drinking
I was
it.
drinking it already. Okay, so we are going to do a non-spoiler summary and a rating, and then we will get into our very spoiler section. But first, let's start with the non-spoiler summary. So this is basically following a bunch of different people, mainly a few different couples. So we have Hermia and Lysander who are in love and want to be married, but Demetrius also loves Hermia and basically will do anything to get her. Hermia's father wants her to marry Demetrius, so basically they take it to the king and try to get it worked out. A lot of stuff happens, but most of it's spoilery.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna leave it there.
It's a little crazy, but honestly, a lot happens. I would give it a 5 personally because it's just so chaotic and it's like the closest you can get to having like
A fever dream?
yeah, a fever dream mixed with like just like dropping acid. Like,
Shakespeare was on something.
Shakespeare had to be on something. I also love that this is kind of a mock as well on his own plays that he's written. So I really enjoy the self-mockery. I think it's really entertaining.
I actually gave it a 4 stars. It probably is not my favorite Shakespeare play because I do love Macbeth. Like that one, I don't know what it is about that one, but that one's my favorite. But this one was probably the easiest to understand and enjoy. So I definitely gave it a 4 stars. Super enjoyed it.
Excuse me.
You good?
Just throwing up.
Cheers to the spoiler section!
Spoilers!
Okay, the first thing that we are going to talk about is our favorite and least favorite character. So Ryan, who is your favorite character?
Oh, my favorite character.
Your favorite character.
Oh, it's really hard to decide because there is literally 15,000 people in this play.
And most of them kind of suck.
Yeah, as well, there's not really like any protagonist to this, so I can't even say like the main character because they're all main characters. But I would probably say Titania. I think she's really cool. I like that she's the fairy queen. I like the fact that she's not going to try to give up a changeling to King Oberon because she's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I think it's really funny that King Oberon tries to be like, I'm going to show you by making you fall in love with the grossest thing. And I was like, she does nothing. The entire play, she's just chilling. Like, she's just chilling. Even when she's like drunk in love by this flower, she's still chilling. Nothing happens. So I'm like, yeah, go girl, have fun.
She didn't really do anything wrong.
No.
And like, to be fair, like it's not the worst thing to happen to her that she fell in love with an ass.
Like,
But
that's not bad.
I just imagine them to be like a really like old, angry like couple.
Oh, for sure. Very
just like
petty.
playing jokes on each other.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny. I think Hermia is probably my favorite character just because she's like the most like strong-headed, and I felt that.
Yeah.
So like obviously Hermia loves Lysander. She does not love Demetrius. And when her dad basically threatens to kill her, she still is like, nah, I'm not gonna go with what you say. And I thought that was something really interesting, especially in that time period.
Oh, yeah.
And then she like literally runs away with Lysander. Like, how much courage do you have to have for that? So I really liked her. I love that she kind of like stayed in it. I love that she's portrayed as like this angry lady too, and like both of them like fall in love with Helena because of the flower. And it's like, Helena's legit scared of her. I'm like, okay, so obviously, like, Hermia's kind of a bad bitch.
With that being said, my least favorite character is Helena. I just get really annoyed with her because she is like, love me. Lysander, right? I keep mixing them.
Demetrius.
Okay, so with, like, Demetrius, she's like, oh my gosh, I want you to love me so much. And then when he does, she's like, you're fucking with me. Like, really? No. You're faking this.
But also,
you're faking
like,
it.
lightweight same.
I literally am like, girl! Yeah, I just, that, and then, like, I don't know. I really feel bad for Demetrius as well, because, like, it's just so up for him that he's just stuck in the state that he's in.
We also need to talk about how, like, this is technically, like, a comedy, because comedy ends with marriage, tragedy ends with death. But it's like, not really, it's not a happy ending for him. So Helena also is one of my least favorite characters. I did kind of like understand her, which, you know, we've talked about this in a couple past videos. I like everything in her, or I dislike everything in her that I also see in myself. But on top of that, like, she is just a character who I wouldn't want to be friends with. Like, yeah, I would be so annoyed by her, and I kind of get it. People don't really like her. That's why people don't really like me.
No, Taylor, we love you. We all love you.
Thanks. I also don't really like Demetrius. Like, he does have a sad ending, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
The whole reason behind Theseus, like, not siding with them off the back was because Demetrius does have, like, a past of, like, basically thinking that he's in love with somebody and then giving it up, aka he was like in love with Helena first, apparently, and like drug her along, and then like he changed his mind. Yeah. So he's had like, it almost reminds me of Romeo in a way, because like Romeo was the same way, where he was super in love with Rosalind and like basically changed it up and then was like, yeah, I love Juliet. It kind of had that same vibe of like he was just kind of like going with the next person, or almost kind of like going with someone who he can't have. So the second he got Helena, he was like, okay, I'm on to Hermia now. He is a boy. Oh, and I will just say, I kind of just loved all the Fae for what they are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were cool. They were really cool.
I liked Puck. I liked King Oberon.
Puck. I thought Puck was adorable, because it's like, he is the comedic aspect of this entire play.
He's a huge plot driver.
Yeah, he definitely goes in and he just causes all of this havoc, like, whether he actually intends to or not. Because, like, when Oberon's like, hey, you need to take this flower and use it to, like, you know, whatever, with the Athenians or Grecians, whatever they are. And it's like, he mixes them all up, because, like, I get it. Like, they're 2 guys, 2 girls. It's like, well...
You didn't give me a name, goddammit.
Yeah, you didn't tell me exactly who was who, so I don't know what to do. Anything having to do with, like, symbols or anything, I really like the idea of, like, this flower and, like, how that's the driving force, and the entirety of it all taking place in, like, the woods, in nature, and having, like, such a natural element to it, instead of it being, like, human driven, if that makes sense. Like, whereas with Romeo and Juliet, even though it is a tragedy, like, it is all just like, these people are doing it of their own free will. It's like miscommunication between people, and it's all like very humane, whereas this has like such supernatural, I guess, like mythological type enforcers on it, that it just makes it so entertaining. So it's like, oh, this is crazy because it's magical. That's why.
I wonder what would be, or what the play would be like if we took out the Fae, like the actual like portrayal of the Fae, and just it was people explaining what happened.
Yeah.
Like how different it would be. Titania and Oberon, like, I just found them like so funny. I loved them so much, but I also think it was really funny too, like the whole him playing the joke on her as well as playing it on humans, because a lot of times you see how like the Fae kind of play jokes on humans and trick them and like kind of do terrible things to them.
Yeah.
Which, like, I thought it was interesting that nothing that they did was super like malicious. Like everything was kind of like tame. It was mainly to I guess for like the greater good. is what they were doing.
It was like for the greater good, but it also seemed very much like, let's entertain ourselves.
I never really see fairies play tricks on each other.
Yeah.
It's like mainly like they're all in on this big joke for the humans. So I thought it was kind of interesting that like he played a joke on his wife.
Yeah, it really does make them seem like an old married couple.
It really does. I also did want to talk about the whole play within the play that was was kind of going on like in the background, which I thought it was kind of funny because it tied through slightly, but for the most part they were just like doing their own thing.
It feels like they're infomercials in the middle of like what's going, or it's like that's the main thing, but like, you know, it's just so weird to see like you can intertwine two different stories at the same time and show like, hey, this is going on over here, but this is also going on over here. But like every single time something happened with the main play, the people who were performing the play within a play are like doing their own thing off to the side.
I was trying to pay such close attention to the play because I was like, I wonder if the smaller play is just going to be about the bigger play that we're currently reading. But I don't think it is. Like it's really close to like Romeo and Juliet. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really funny that like the portrayal of the play inside is like a tragedy, but it's in the middle of a comedy and it's also done at a wedding.
Yeah, it reminds me of Death at a Funeral, and it's like a comedic movie, but it's centered around like a huge tragedy itself. I also like, okay, so this is something that I definitely brought up when I took a Shakespeare class, but like the amount of like effort we put into this play that I just want to see and talk to Shakespeare himself and be like, so like, what was the bigger meaning on all of this? It's just, we speak so little of what the actual play itself is that it's like, if you are given the chance or you have time, just like listen to it or like read it yourself, because it's definitely worth the time, but it's just, it's insane. Like overall, it just feels so crazy.
It just feels so crazy.
And even talking about it, I don't even know
like
how.
A fever dream.
I don't know how to connect my thoughts while even talking about it. It just feels so like sporadic. It's just Puck, you know.
I just want to let you know, I pulled up my notes right now, and this was my notes. Like before this video filming, I was like, I don't know.
It's just a mind. It's a mind of a play.
But it's a great time.
It's so much fun.
Is there anything else you want to cover?
I don't think so, no.
I think that's it for us today, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you have not already. And if there's anything else you want to discuss in the comments, me and Ryan are always responding, so please let us know down below who your favorite characters are, what your favorite parts are, and also if you had any questions about themes that we didn't talk about. We'd love to chat about them.
Exactly. Also, don't forget to check out our Instagram at tipsy_book_TALKS and our TikTok at tipsy_book_TOKS, because our TikTok, we're posting so many fun random videos that we're taking like along the way in between all of the filming, and our Instagram, we're constantly updating, so make sure you're definitely at least following us on Instagram to keep updated with anything that we have coming up.
It's a lot of fun, so cheers!
Cheers, everybody!
Chug!
No! Fuck Helena. That Oberon though, ooh.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, he's like an old man.
I would not want a man who like played tricks on me and made me fall in love with a fucking donkey.